The reason passing voting rights legislation is imperative is that the oppressive laws we're seeing in Republican-led states are not the end of restrictions, but the beginnings of restrictions. These governors and lawmakers are going to continue to make laws to disenfranchise and subvert. The latest comes from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is now proposing a first-of-its-kind police agency that would oversee elections and arrest voters who they say violate election laws. As a voting rights lawyer at the nonprofit Campaign Legal Center notes, my number one concern is that it's going to be used as a tool to harass or intimidate civic engagement organizations and voters. That proposal comes on the heels of another unprecedented move by DeSantis to be the first governor in recent political history to insert himself into the redistricting process, something normally left to state legislatures. According to Politico, a map submitted by DeSantis' general counsel on the eve of MLK Day would cut in half the number of African-American districts from 4 on current proposed congressional maps to 2, while boosting the number of seats Donald Trump would have won in 2020 from 18 to 16. It would also wipe out the 5th congressional district seat held by African-American Congressman and Tallahassee Democrat Al Lawson. All that as Virginia Republicans just introduced more than 20 bills to restrict mail-in ballots and voting that would reverse some voting changes passed by state Democrats. Joining me now to discuss is the Broward County Supervisor of Elections, Joe Scott. Mr. Scott, voting rights groups warned that DeSantis' redistricting map is potentially illegal because it goes after a protected district. Do you believe that it's illegal?
Well, yeah, it probably is a violation of the Civil Rights Act, but we're in a space now where we don't have the pre-clearance that was in place before. So they would be able to make this change and maybe it gets battled out in the courts, but it could take years. It could be many cycles before this actually gets resolved. So they end up getting away with it.
So let's pull the lens back a little bit, take a look at Florida, but Florida as an exemplar of all the other states that are engaged in some form of voter suppression or subversion. What do you make of the current state of voters' rights in this country?
I'm really concerned about what we're seeing because it's, and it's funny that at the same time, we have this push to stop teaching American history accurately. And at the same time, we saw this happen in the late 19th century where there was a slow erosion, where the voting rules changed and it slowly eroded away people's right to vote, and specifically Black people. And now here we are again, where we're seeing this erosion of voting rights, where we're seeing laws being made at the state and local level that's making it more difficult for people to vote. And it's hard to see where this stops because it seems that every legislative session that comes up, there's new bills being proposed, new ways to make it more difficult for people to vote. And it's almost as if, the question being, where does it stop? How far do we go before we actually take action at the federal level to stop these local laws from being put in place?
What do you make of DeSantis' plan to create a police agency to oversee elections? Can he do it? And also, how would this work in terms of, there are laws about voter intimidation already. How would this not be seen as an effort to intimidate voters?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly the way it would be put in place. I mean, you have to think about who are the people going to be who are in these agencies and where are they going to focus their attention? And we see that there are certain communities that get more focus and more effort from law enforcement. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at a police force that's being put in place that will specifically target grassroots organizations, groups that are out there trying to get people registered to vote, groups that are trying to do petition drives. And these tend to be organizations that are already hesitant to act. So you have, groups of people who, because of recent law changes, are nervous about being interactive and getting civically involved. And now you go out and do a voter registration drive and you might have some law enforcement officer knocking on your door, asking you questions. It's just really going to chill the community involvement in these very important processes that we need to get people registered to vote.
So you mentioned before that, they're going to keep doing this. That truly is the worrisome portion of this. There's already a giant worry about what has happened already in this cycle. The number of states that have implemented some sort of voter restriction, some introduced maps that are racially and politically gerrymandered. We have, candidate after candidate who are election deniers of 2020, or maybe even, part of QAnon or whatever, who are running to be in charge of the counting of the votes and the reporting of the votes. And unless the federal government does something that says there is a limit to what we will allow, we will not let you do this. If there's no limit on what they can do, they will keep running until they hit a wall. How worried
Correct.
are you that this is truly just the beginning of a massive wave of voter suppression and subversion?
No, I believe it's very clear at this point because we just passed a huge law here in the state of Florida. A huge law was passed that made it much more difficult for us to do things like have drop boxes and made it harder for people to drop off their vote by mail ballots. So we've already made it more difficult. We made it more difficult for voter registration groups to go out and do what they do, to go out and register voters. So it's been less than a year now, and we already have new proposals that are going to go even further and make it even tougher. So it just shows that this is the pattern. It'll be every legislative session. Every year when the Florida legislature meets, there'll be new proposals, there'll be new laws getting passed that will further and further restrict the rights of citizens to go out and get civically involved, for them to go out and get people registered, to go out and actually vote, and to vote the way they prefer. Our recent elections, we had 3 times as many people vote by mail as vote in person. So it's clear that that's the way, people are preferring to vote these days. But we have a government in Tallahassee that is hostile to vote by mail and doing everything that they can to make it difficult for working people, for disabled people, for the seniors out there to actually use the vote by mail system in a way that's efficient and that'll work well for them.
How confident are you that the courts might be a way to remedy some of these legislative tactics?
Well, the problem with the courts is that they work very slowly. So what you end up having in the meantime is that perhaps you could have new laws that are put in place, but if you make it past a couple of election cycles before it's struck down by the courts, then you go ahead and you get these people who get elected, they get put in place, and maybe they pass even more laws, right? So it just becomes, the problem is that the court system moves too slow, and that's why we really need to have the Voting Rights Act restored to where we have the pre-clearance provision that was there before 2013. It's absolutely critical that we don't change the voting laws until it has already been cleared as being legal, because they'll pass these laws, they'll put them in action, and maybe the courts will strike them down years later. But how much damage is going to be done in the meantime? We remember, everybody's heard about the grandfather clause. The grandfather clause was in place in many jurisdictions for 15 years before the courts finally struck it down. And it was clear that the whole point of that law was to take away, the rights that were granted by the Constitution for every natural born man in America at that time to vote. So despite the fact that it was very clear what the Constitution intended, they passed a law that was unconstitutional, and that law stayed on the books for 15 years in some cases before the courts finally struck it down. So it's really just not good enough to wait for the courts to act. We have to have that pre-clearance. We really need to have the Voting Rights Act restored.
Joe Scott, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate your time.